So in the mid-1990s, I lived in Tokyo, Japan for 3 years. And not only was I new to the country, but I was also a new wife, and I was desperately trying to impress my husband as I was his new wife and so forth. And I planned all these things, how to give great gifts and all these things I looked up for Japanese protocol. But what I hadn't expected was that some business entertaining would actually take place in a Japanese onsen. So I don't know if any of you have been to them, but it's a hot spring that comes up out of the ground. And I thought, frankly, I didn't really plan on entertaining in my bathing suit. So this was a shock to me. Let me just tell you, I grew up in a really conservative farming town in Pennsylvania. We had turtlenecks. I wasn't allowed to wear jeans to school. I was the girl who changed in the bathroom stall when it was time for swimming class. So I go into my first onsen experience thinking, I'd really gotten myself up for this and I'm going to be cool with it. It's men's and women's are separated, so all right, I can do this. Well, that's when I come to find out that actually, bathing suits aren't allowed. So this is, full on naked. And I'm thinking, just what I want to do with my friend, my husband's business colleagues. But anyway. Cool. They're all like size zeros. And they give you this little like a fat washcloth, and it only covers one little bit. So anyway, 3 years of this goes by, and I get a bit more comfortable with it. Still a little bit weird, but whatever. So 3 years down the road, we sign up for this ski holiday with this big busload of Irish friends that we've made friends with. And I'm really looking forward to this because I love skiing, and I've actually grown to love the onsens. They're very relaxing and so forth. And also, I'm with a busload of people who are shaped like me, not size zero. So I'm thinking this is going to be great. So, and we get there, and the hotel in Hokkaido, which is the northern island in Japan, is just stunning. So the onsen is on the side of the hotel. So the hotel is like this, and it's like the onsens, the hot springs are coming into the hotel, and it's like a little balcony that's here and that's here. The men's are here, the women's are here, and there's this beautiful pond, like a large pond that comes out. So the balcony's just overstep this pond. And then all around the pond are these beautiful trees, so it's a forest around this pond, and there's these big snowflakes coming down. It's just absolutely stunning. So we're there, and the men's and women's are separated. But we can lean out from ours, and we can wave at the men, and the men can wave at us, and it's really fun. But then the men start daring each other. There's actually a rock jutting out of the middle of this pond, and they're daring each other to actually go in from their hot, steaming onsen into the freezing cold pond, swim out, touch this rock, and come back. Now, the space of time it takes for them to slide out of the onsen and into the freezing cold water, and then when they come back and they have to have their friends pull them back into the onsen, it's all out for show, right? So we're all thinking, this is fabulous. We are getting a full Chippendale show going on here, and they're all wet, and it's fabulous. So anyway, we had a great holiday. But the last day came, and we're all packing up our bags to get back on the bus and go to the airport. And two of my friends and I decided that we would take this time to go one last time to this amazing, beautiful onsen. And it was at this point that we thought to ourselves, most of the men had done this dare, and not a single one of the women had. And that's just not right. So we decided that before we left, we were going to be the three women that showed up for womankind and take this dare. But what we remembered was, of course, the whole going in and out was a show, and we didn't want to do that. So what we realized was, on the other side of the onsen, we could slide over, and there were some flat rocks there. So what we planned was we would slide over onto the flat rocks, and we could gradually go into the water. We could dip our toes in, get used to it, swim out, touch the rocks, come back. So here's what we do. We slide over the sides, we're standing on the rocks, we're dipping our toes in, and it is really cold. And we're starting to kind of second guess, are we really going to do this or not? When my friend Diane turns around to say something to Amanda and I, she gets such a look of horror on her face that we can't help but kind of turn around. Now, what we had assumed was the back wall to the hotel was actually floor-to-ceiling windows to the hotel bar. So it was quite a surprise, let me tell you. So, in a sense of shock, we've now completely given up any ideas we had about going into this water and touching the rock. And we immediately try to get back into the onsen. I should mention that luckily, since it's the middle of the day, the bar doesn't have that many people in. Most notably, there are 3 Japanese waiters that are literally doubled over in laughter watching us. And so we go to get back into the onsen, but there was nobody there. It was just the 3 of us. Whereas the men had their friends, their compatriots to pull them up. We had no one. So we're standing there stark naked on the rocks in the middle of the day. We are jumping up, trying to catch the lip of the onsen to pull us down, or to pull us up. But anyway, what we realized was this was not going to work. So with much naked considering of what we would do next, I actually heaved Amanda up onto Diane's shoulders. And she then managed to climb up and pull herself into the onsen. And then she pulled both Diane and I back up into the onsen. Of course, we were all, shuddering with laughter and humiliation for this entire time. But anyway, that is my story. That is the first and last time I've ever been, a member of an international naked circus. So.